So one of the important learning that we went through as the DPI, Digital Public Infrastructure rollout happened in the countries is that for various reasons, because most of these projects are driven by some government departments or ministries, so obviously the rigor of the paperwork and the transparency reasons and so on, government takes more time. But peculiarly, when it comes to digital public infrastructure, which is supposed to be a set of minimal building blocks, not the full solution, on top of which other people can build, even there, even though they are minimal and simple, in one sense, a lot of us think they are simple enough, frankly. But it does take a long time due to a variety of reasons. Reasons such as, who is going to help me as if I am a department? Who is going to put together the first set of documents to kickstart the project? So I need a consultant or I need somebody. But how do I choose a consultant? Then I need an RFP to choose a consultant. So I already spent 2-3 months to choose a consultant or a partner. Then starts the project. Then projects, you have to define the entire requirements and the contractual obligations around it in the form of an RFP to actually build the DPI. So it's like saying, oh, I want to build my house. Obviously, I have to make up my mind of everything in the house, design the whole house, everything, then outsource it to someone to build it. Now, this custom way of doing has two problems. One, you have to know upfront what you want to build. So you take a long time to figure out what do you actually want, what do you want to build. Then use a mechanism to write all that down into an RFP process. So typically preparation of this RFP itself and requirements, contractual obligations, SLAs and the functional requirements, technology requirements, scale and security requirements all have to be spelled out in a government RFP. And they'll spell it out, it takes months. Then you put out an RFP. Then you hope that you have competitive bids coming from the ecosystem. The problem with that is by the time you get through this funnel of figuring out, you selecting a vendor, it already probably at least 9 months, 6 to 9 months, maybe even 12 months. By the time you select that, you have not even begun writing anything or building no house yet. Nothing has been built yet. Not even the first brick has been laid yet. You are in the process of that. You already spent 9 months. Now you are saying, okay, now I have to onboard the new vendor, system integrator or somebody who I selected. They start building the house, right? Building the DPI. And the build, typically, because everything is custom, the build takes slightly longer because they tried building everything. When you build something, you have to test it out. You have to do security testing, functional testing, acceptance, payment of the vendor appropriately. And that cycle, what's called a build, test, get ready cycle, is also another minimum. No software vendor is going to say, I'll build it for 1 week. It's going to be typically, because system integrators take time, they do say everything is in months. So another 6-9 months. So by the time you're already 1.5 years, by the time you get to some form of rollout, then you test it out, production ready rollout, right? That's what you do. So a typical cycle of what we call a 24-month, cycle that goes on. Question we were asking is this: how can we compress this? Political leaders in a country wants it faster. Bureaucrats who are in charge of the business wants it faster. It's not their interest to get stuck in a technology build cycle with no outcome at the end of the tunnel. So it's important that we compress the cycle because leadership in the countries want faster rollout of DPIs and compressed timelines. Interestingly, citizens also want it because they've also been waiting. So you see this tremendous friction between the speed and agility, wanting to do that fast, versus the traditional IT, procurement, large project overhead that is always there for a large DPI. So as part of many conversations with countries, this idea evolved over the last few months, the idea called DaaS. And DaaS stands for DPI as a package solution. Package solution is a real keyword. Is that can we reimagine at least the popular DPIs, not all DPIs, like identity, credentialing, data, payment, things that everybody talks about, registries and many other pieces of this puzzle that now most world over people have understood that being the most common, what's called a foundational set of building blocks. These foundational DPIs, there is no reason, frankly, to rebuild them from scratch. Much of that is available in digital public goods as open source projects. So the real question we were asking is, can we take those projects? Can we package the DPI? DPI, not only software, technology packaging, policy packaging, project plan packaging, fund packaging, can we package everything as much as possible? Now we know, obviously you can't package it 100%, but package it so that the contextualization into a country's, the mapping between the package and the actual country deployment is from 2-year cycle, which we talked about. We can compress it to 3 to 6 months. And finally, we actually believe it's totally possible, very, very, very possible for us to, if we put all our head together, we should be able to very clearly take the common set of foundational DPGs, package them fully, including policy templates, project plan templates, training, capacity building, ecosystem readiness. If you can package that well, there is no reason why countries should go through an elongated, high-risk 2-year, 3-year cycles for DPI deployment. So DaaS provides a brilliant way to bridge the gap between the agility and the speed of the leaders that leaders want to see to open source way of fast-tracking this DPI implementation through DPGs, packaged DPGs. So the DaaS is the name that actually brings this idea forward, and it can be cloud native, cloud ready, private cloud, public cloud, it doesn't matter where you deploy, but it's one-click deployable. Think of that way. Very fast deployable, rapid piloting and rapid policy shift, then allow the countries to continue to own their IP, their data, their management control. There is no lack of any of that, but except that we are just compressing the 2-year time.